was born not so far from here in a town you may have heard of, Woking, and I lived as a child in Woking, and I went to school in Woking. When I was 11, I remember a good friend of mine at school used to get out of maths lessons every Wednesday morning, and it got me wondering, how did he manage this? Well, after I talked to him in the playground one day, I realised that he was learning the trumpet, and I thought, I want some of that. I'm going to learn the trumpet, anything to get out of maths. I went to the music teacher, but there were no trumpets left. But they did have a thing called a euphonium, and so I jumped on that one. I'm going to learn the euphonium, I told my parents when I got home, and they said, yes, what is a euphonium? And soon, the rest was history really. I worked hard and did quite well on it, and then moved on to a trombone. And so when I was at school, I spent a lot of time playing euphonium in brass bands and trombones in orchestras and all sorts of things. And that really was what occupied me for most of my secondary school years. And then of course it took me on to university, where I studied music at Royal Holloway and spent again a lot of time playing the trombone. And then I started moving around. I moved to Mitcham and Kingston, and we lived in Chiswick at one time, and then I moved to Hampton, and then finally to Egham. So very much a Surrey man, I would say. Yeah, absolutely Surrey. As a child I was taken to church locally in Mayford, and when I was old enough I attended Pathfinders. I can remember some of those sessions, sitting on those hard wooden chairs being talked at by a couple of strange, rather grown-up children, or maybe even young adults, I think they probably were. And I think it was at that time that the seeds were sown. There was definitely something there. There was something that touched me. But when I went on and left school and went to university, God and religion was not part of my life. When Rachel and I moved to Egham, we were very busy with a house that needed an awful lot of work, to be honest, and we both had full-time jobs, so time was very short. Something happened to me shortly after my first son was born. I just remember looking down and thinking, oh, what's this? I mean, I'm responsible for this. Oh dear, what am I going to do? And at the same time, something sort of touched me. I thought, yes, but that's what God is. God's my father, and I'm Ben's father. And something sort of clicked, and it suddenly sort of, somehow things fell into place. And I think that's when the real spark of Christianity and understanding a bit about God just sort of lit. Well, God clearly asked me and Rachel to get involved with children's work, and for my job in the daytime I was working in computers, and it paid the money. I was a music teacher, but then I just moved into computers because the money was better, and as my family grew the money became more essential. And I've been in computers for decades, and I've often thought I need to leave, I need to do something else, I'm not happy here. But I've stuck with it because I never felt God saying do something else, or any openings really coming. And I prayed about it for many years, and then very recently I got the offer of early, it would have been early retirement, but it was actually called redundancy. So I took redundancy, and so now I'm possibly between jobs, probably retired, but I have an option to move off and do something else now. So I'm really waiting to hear from God. What has he got in mind? What does he want me to do?